on a cut. These guys work really hard to get where they're at, and we want to make sure the fighters have to beat the other fighters, and the doctor isn't stepping in and saying, hey, this is the end of your route.
And elbows rarely finish fights. More often than not, they just open up cuts that can't be closed all that easily.
Unless you're Kenny Florian. Finish a lot of fights for Kenny.
Absolutely. Elbows. But we look at Joe Soto here, and you saw how loose he was early on. I think we're talking about a wash in terms of these guys and their wrestling skills, but a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu edge for Ben Greer, and you have to think he'll be looking for the submission at all costs.
Well, I think Joe Soto is on a clock here. He's got about 45 seconds to put away Ben Greer before his stats all change.
Yeah, again, as you heard Jason mention, as Joe Soto was making his way to the cage, just 6:06 of ring time in his entire career.
Ben using the fence really well, getting that right underhook up underneath the left shoulder of Mr. Soto there. I got a feeling this fight's going to go a little longer than Mr. Soto's used to.
Again, a huge opportunity for these fighters. You win 3 fights and you become a Bellator World Champion, not to mention $175,000. But it really must be nice for the fighters. They control their own destiny. So at the end of a fight, instead of begging and imploring the promoters for a title shot, you're on to the semifinals.
Yeah, Soto shoots in on a deep single leg there. You see Greer really focusing with the wrestling, pushing the head away. Great wrestling positioning. When a guy's in a single leg like that, you want to first get his head off you, just like Ben did. Greer put his head on Soto's head there, getting control, got his body away. Now you see him pummeling for those underhooks off the fence.
Nice wide base there for Joe Soto as he controls the action up against the cage, throwing some left hands there.
It's going to be hard for Soto to take Greer down, coming from that strong wrestling background. Also, it looks like Greer is a little bit stronger than Soto. Soto, however, extremely relaxed.
Yeah, don't let the physical, fool you, right? I mean,
no, absolutely. I mean, that's why jiu-jitsu was invented, because the physical act only goes so far when you have a technical edge. Soto taking a really low posture in his striking. You better hope Ben doesn't launch a front kick to the head, because that could put an end to your night.
Yeah, and keeping those hands down a little bit. You notice Greer's hands are up, Soto's are down.
One of the interesting things is you're going to have to question, how is this going to go and affect the psyche of Soto if he has to go 2-3 rounds? Does he feel like, hey, I can't beat this guy, and my other fights went quicker? I mean, right now he's working on a guard, showing some relentless right hands, trying to control the feet and pass.
Joe Soto doing a nice job here.
You see fighters do this often from this position, like Greer's doing. He has the half guard and he works a hand underneath the thigh. They're looking for sweeps. They're trying to get back on top of their opponent from a disadvantaged position. Right now, however, Ben just got mounted by Soto. You can't sit there right now if you're Greer.
Not where Ben Greer wants to be. Joe Soto working into the full mount there. Greer giving up his back here. Not something you want to do this early on in the fight. Joe Soto, Jason, got the underhooks in there?
No, he's got his hooks in. He doesn't have the underhooks. He's got to make sure that if he does get the underhooks, that Greer, he's really got to work to get those out and stand up and try to come out the back door and untangle his legs. He can't just sit here.
Greer still intelligently defending himself, but he is taking some punishment here, and he needs to reverse course here in a hurry.
Soto's a little bit high on him. I try to go for something and slide off here. But you see, when Greer is straightening that right leg, what he's trying to do is he's trying to unhook that instep of Soto that's hooked around his waist and kind of create some space so he can either turn to his back to the mat or can control a wrist and turn right like that, getting him off of his back here.
Come on, you gotta fight back.
This has got intelligent.
That will do it. Frank Gentile intervenes. Joe Soto living up to the nickname, the Hammer, and fired up about